This is Nathan Stanford Sr. again. We're going to look at PHP and HTMX. We're going to show you an inventory management tool of sorts. A lot of times when I'm building stuff for clients at work, they ask for, I want something like this, an Excel spreadsheet, or maybe an old Access database, or maybe they say, I want an old ASP site, old Microsoft site, where when you type in an amount, it saves. If you have to stop in the middle and get up and leave, it saves. So if we look at what's on the screen, this is the example that I'm showing you. For right now, let's look at the chicken down here. Chickens, let's say we need to order a lot more chicken. We're selling a lot of chicken, so we're going to order 150. If you watch over here, the price will change when I tab out, and then I look at the total. It's wrong, so I will have to figure out what's wrong with that. But right now, 10. It's not automatically updating this, but it's updating all of these. I'm not going to fix it right now, but what I do want you to know is that part's wrong. And what you're going to want to do is in the code, make sure you're adding up and figure out how to fix this. It's already got an amount there. Use HTMX to fix this one bug that I'm leaving in there. And I'm leaving it in on purpose. I think the best way to learn to drive is to get in the car and drive. So I can give you all of this code, and I will put the URL to the repo in the description of the video. But at least for right now, I'm not going to fix this bug. I want you to simply, like for example, if you can't figure it out, you can at least delete these columns. That's fine if that's what you want to do. But this is a real small amount of code. It shouldn't be real hard to take time to look at it and figure out, okay, when it updates one of these columns, I want it to look at the totals of all of these columns and update it right here. So that's what I'm asking you to think about and do. There's a few other things I might do and come back at a later date and add to this, but I want to keep the code as small as I can. So if I simply say, okay, we only need 10 apples, we only need 10 bananas, we'll just go with 10 for a second. Price is the only thing that's going to keep them different. So now you can see 10 for 30 cents is $3, 10 for 50 cents. So you can see apples cost probably $2.50, let's just say. And bananas probably cost, I'm not the one buying bananas, so I don't know. But I'm just picking a price. So you immediately add it in and change it, and it saves in the database. So let's just say Nate's fresh fruit, which is kind of funny, but I'll leave it till later. So let's add a space in here for tropical harvest. Let's add a space in here for dairy farms. Let's add a space in here for bakery delights. Let's go down here and do space there. So now I've clicked away. I'm going to hit refresh. So let's see if it's got the new names, and almost all of these are pretty easy. They're all 10. So let's hit refresh, and you can see it. Put those in the database and put those in the database. So now let's go back here. The first thing I'm trying to do with my sample examples where you can download, this is SQL that's written for MySQL. I usually use Laragon in the background for the database. That way and then I have even been using Azure Data Studio to go in here and run and add these columns to the database. So there's lots of things I'm trying out and doing, and then I'm adding them there. So you will have this script in the repo, but if you want to type it, you can, and you can probably add the spaces in here. But you can see that's where it gets the beginning information. The configuration file is here. However, I recommend if you're doing it for real to have a get ignore And to get rid of the comments, you can say ignore the config file, because we do not want this out on the repo, because it would have the correct username and password in here, which right now it doesn't, but this is where you would want to put it normally. So here it's got localhost root. Actually, it is here, root, and I have no password. So you would be putting in root and password there. You'd be putting in whatever the username and password is. This is the database name. This is because it's localhost on my machine locally. So I go to index. Up here we're saying require once config, just in case another file is trying to include it. If it doesn't see it there, it will only include it once if it is there. Then we're doing a PDO, preparing it and getting the select from all of the inventory table. And then we're coming down here. We're using Bootstrap to make it look dark mode. We're using dark mode here. This is the HTMX link we're using currently. Here is the title of the page. Here is the table. And then down here we're looping through all of the rows and putting that data in. So then down here is where right now the formatting is. And one problem I can see, well, I'll leave it to you guys to figure out what you would do to make it change and put in the correct format, correct total, the total amount down here. So let's look at what happens inside of this code. Let me do an Alt-Z, which takes line wrap away, and now you can see the whole thing. And let's close that, which would also be, I think it's, let's see, Control B, is it? Yeah, Control B, which will show and hide your files so you can see more of the line. And I could adjust these lines so they all fit in, but I'm not going to. It looks like the table. It's kind of nice looking that way. So if you look over here, all of the HX, when it triggers on change, it calls the table, the file update.php. It's going to swap the outer HTML of this section, this row, and it's going to include from the closest TR. So it's going to go back and get the TR that this one's in, make sure it replaces all of this TR with whatever information we get back from the file that we've posted to update.php. So if you look, each one of these are the same as far as that goes. So let's go back now and look at update. Notice this is 2 files, a configuration file, but that's 2 files to do this. You got a configuration file that you could have put inside of these, but we're taking it out so you can save the password. All we're doing here again is require once, and we are putting in here at the beginning, we're resetting all the post variables to these variables here so we can use them. Then we're setting up PDO, and we're preparing these with these question marks. We're going to pass in each one of these matched to each question mark in the same order. And then here we're after we've done this, then we're going to prepare a select, because up here we're updating. Then we're going to go get all that information again, where the ID is the one that we just used, that we're changing, and we're literally replacing that whole row once again with this. So it's literally a copy pretty much of what's here at index for that row. But the only difference is that this code is now going to replace it because we called this page. This is what is coming back. So it replaces it. So that's how it gets updated. And then once again, that's all there is to this. 2 pages to be able to say, okay, let's just say we were dealing with something other than food. We could say, this is the computer that's on sale. Well, let's call it the XYZ computer Well, we have 10 of them still in stock. That's fine. They're 3,500. We'll leave it at that. And then this is going to be XYZ. And so actually, let's just get rid of the XYZ over here. Leave the company over there. And it's maybe model 2 X2. And now it's got how much it cost, or how much the unit price is. So let's actually put in something else, 33.95. So then it figures out the total. So this here, I can hit refresh, and you can see those two files take care of this. So if you're building something for somebody and you build it right, you can build it really simply, 2 files, and it will update. So hope that this helps somebody and gives them some ideas of things they can do with HTMX. The backend can be PHP, the backend can be Cold Fusion, the backend can be Go, the backend can be .NET, the backend can be any of the other backends. Just remember, the backend's kind of like your engine of your car. You can paint the car and make it look really cool, but if you got a bad engine, then you got a problem. If you have a good engine, you can have a messed up front end and it will still work, but you would like to have both a good engine and a good look and feel. So it's worth trying to go out of your way to make something look good. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't. I'm getting close to 200 subscribers, and I'm looking forward to being able to reach that goal. Thank you.